Quick question on that training. So a lot of, you know, the law firms that I've experienced with, which I'm sure is universal, like the lawyers, they want to bill, right? They're billing at a high rate. Billing is critical to the business. They don't want an interruption of any kind, and they don't want to be inconvenienced in any way that would somehow impact that billing. And so a lot of times when you get into these conversations like, hey, we got to train on let's say cybersecurity, it's like, that's 15 minutes I could be billing, right? Like how do you have that? Was that a tough conversation? Was that an easy conversation? How did you get that compliance within, that buy-in, that commitment from the whole firm?
So it's always a challenge, right? And the fact that we have testing through the Know Before platform, things like that. The conversations are, you don't want to spend 15 minutes doing the training, but if you click on the wrong link, you're going to be incapacitated for days, right? So we want to make sure that they're aware of that, and we didn't want to do just kind of run-of-the-mill cybersecurity training. So a lot of the stuff that when we started falling under other compliances for like HIPAA and CCPA and some of these other things, we got some more engaging training. So it's not just videos that you're watching here and there, and we got some things that are kind of the gamification, and we've got some training that's like these episodic things that Know Before has done, which sometimes it's cheesy, but hey, people have a tendency to watch it, and because they're kind of funny. So but that's always the greatest challenge, is creating that buy-in, but it's really just continuing to talk to people and let them understand how important that cybersecurity is in that space, right? Because like you said, we don't want to do anything that's going to stop them from being able to bill. So giving real world examples of things that have happened, and like, hey, don't let this happen, or things like that. We really want to make sure that people, we drive that home. The goal is always 100% compliance. Is that realistic? I mean, probably not, but we do the best that we can, and we have a lot of our senior leadership that helps push and drive compliance. We have good policies for things like that. So
feel through in here that like 15 minutes is easy buy-in. The harder number was when the cybersecurity vendor or insurance wants 2 to 3 hours a year. So what is kind of the cadence that's kind of worked for your firm as far as the amount of training? How much time are you guys doing? Monthly, quarterly, semi-annually? Like what are you what's the strategy you guys have taken in?
Yeah, so we do a monthly training, and it depends on, it ranges on topics from compliance, for HIPAA, or just for general phishing, or for just a wide array of topics, and we do it monthly. And when we do our testing, right, we'll put out a fit our own users and see who clicks the links and all that stuff. And then if that happens, you actually get remedial training to go back and say, well, hey, this is where you failed. You need to complete this training module now. So, so those are just kind of a few of the things that we use to cover those, like you say, the cyber insurance vendors. And then we also have our carrier partners for various clients that we have that actually have their own requirements for cybersecurity for it to be a partner of ours, right?
Yeah.
And we kind of take that and we look, hey, does it follow within our program? And that's why we made changes like to compliance modules and things like that, because some carriers started requiring that, and it's just good for us to do in general.